Hey, this is Bill, and Ron is here. It's proof that he's still alive. He's very sick. How do you feel, Ron?
Oh, awesome.
You got to speak at the camera. Okay, we're using the iPhone, and we're looking at the iPhone. Liz is taking pictures of the iPhone, and this is going to be B-roll. What I want to do is 2 hacks. I want to do a hack on the colors, but his brain can't work, right? On the website?
What brain?
And
stole my brain.
The other hack we want to do is on the avatar. So we're going to have to wait till he gets wealthy. You're getting wealthy.
Yeah, we're working on that.
Until you get well to get the brain going again.
Yes.
So I don't know if you can hear him now. You're supposed to speak at the phone. Yeah, thank you. That's our B-roll for today. Welcome to the Ron and Bill Show, episode 6. In today's show, we're not going to be talking about the colors of our website or our avatar, but we are going to talk about a quick clip that Ron made right after we ate lunch about what I need to do about landing pages and collecting email. And then I've got a hack. We got a good hack about how to monetize something in your neighborhood. So stay tuned, listen to our clip. It's about 10, 11 minutes, then enjoy. Okay, what are we talking about, Ron?
We're talking about recovering Bill's massive mistake of not collecting emails for free content that he spent hours, days, weeks creating. Even my wife, who's next to me, who says, "You didn't collect freaking emails?"
You have to collect the emails if you gave something free. That's what the lead magnet is for.
Okay.
You're wasting time, effort.
Thank you. Now,
for not collecting email addresses.
So let me show you how to fix your massive damage you have just done to yourself, okay? You're going to create 2 web pages, okay? The first web page is either a welcome gate.
Where's my YouTube?
Or a simple page. All it has to have is a description of what the free training is. Just a list of the modules, okay? And if you want this free training, all I want is your name, your first name, and your email address. Click here to get instant access, okay? They click that link that drops them into your MailChimp, Aweber, Infusionsoft, whatever autoresponder. You then send them a link to that second page in the email, okay? That when they click, it has your 3 or 4 videos of YouTube on the page. That's all it has to be. That's simple, okay? Now you're collecting emails. And then you have a secondary email that goes to them saying, "Hey, I hope you enjoyed the free videos. We have some upgraded stuff here that we can offer you. We have some really cool things that we know you're going to like, and we're going to explain some of the details that might not have been totally clear in the first course. If you are interested in that, just click here in the email, okay? And that link will then take them to yet another page. Or it could take them to a buy button. It could take them to all kinds of things. But you have nothing if you don't have their email address, Bill. Even my wife knows this. Bye."
So the first thing we're talking about is Ron's little clip. And if you're listening on iTunes, make sure you go over to the ronandbillshow.com, episode 6, and watch it. I don't know if it's funny or not, but watch it. It could be funny. You got to check out what Ron looks like. So if you're not listening on YouTube right now, I'll describe it. He's in his hoodie. He's on his chair. We just went out and had breakfast, which he got sick from because he's been sick and he's still sick. He actually went and got a Z-Pack after we met, but he woke up enough with his hoodie on to give me a hard time about changing my direction. I'll tell you, while Ron was sick, I got a lot done. I was focusing on 2 different areas. But what Ron said is true. So what he said, build a landing page and make sure you collect email addresses. I've been negligent on that, but what I think a little bit different. I think it's actually important if you do digital media or online productions to actually build some really good material, test it out there, and then work on it. But it's also important to have landing pages, to collect email addresses, but you can only do so much. So you can decide. A lot of people teach to go out and maybe build a podcast, collect email addresses, and that's all fine, but that takes a long time. It depends what you're doing, of course. But, my business is online training, real estate, and I use podcasting to help those businesses now. Another thing about podcasting is I truly enjoy podcasting. But I did want to say this one thing. The point here is I had some things, I probably had a day's worth of programmed work I had to do to knock out to help other things, my other businesses. And I stopped and I went back and worked on landing pages. And I hit a wall. I hit something that I couldn't quite do, and I got frustrated. And it was the UI of Lead Pages that threw me for a loop. They had changed it, been a member for a couple of years, but they had changed it. I couldn't find one little link to figure out how to do one thing. I think in episode 8 and 9, Ron and I are going to review Lead Pages because my subscription comes up next month, and I've had it for 2 or 3 years now. I think 3 years. And they've changed things, and they're very expensive. They do some neat stuff, but I'm not sure they're worth the money, and I'm not sure they have good enough support for what you pay. Now, Ron, we're going to get Ron's opinion on this because he has done the certification course. He's done a lot of certifications. That's one thing strong about Ron. Ron has established a business which makes a good sum of money and allows him actually to build his online digital media, which is very similar to what I'm doing. So we complement each other. He's not as strong into podcasting as I am, but he's really good at systems and processes because he's an engineer like I am. Okay, so the second thing today I want to talk about is creativity and avatars. We're going to talk about that in further shows. But one of the elements of the people who listen to this show are probably creatives. Ron and I are both engineers. I'm a general engineer from West Point, and Ron is an Air Force officer, went to Berkeley and is an engineer. What we are, though, is really creatives. And I would think a lot of engineers are really creatives, even though they have to focus and they have to really niche down. They're creative people, and that's what we are. But there are also other people. Writers are known as creative. Artists are definitely creative. Architects can be very creative. So we'll leave it that Ron and I are creative engineers. Now, that leads me to squirreling and planning. We're going to talk about more and more about planning and squirreling, I'm sure, along the way. Planning is important, but squirreling is good and bad. So I think squirreling is another word for squirreling is brainstorming. So I would say plan your squirreling and get your work done. Those are two things I'm going to leave you with. Looking back at Ron's little clip here, one mistake that I made is I should have finished up. I had about a day's worth of work done. I should have finished that up before going on to the task of relooking and getting my landing page and my email back in place and my numerous websites. To finish up this podcast, I do want to give you a good hack. A hack about what we're using on the podcast here. Now, I'm using, and I haven't put this out as part of the base camp, we're using ScreenFlow to produce most of this. And there's a couple little clips in here. I went ahead and used Adobe Audition because Adobe Audition is how I really produce most of my podcasts. But I've got into ScreenFlow because of blogging, and I found that there's some tricks that you can actually get amazing sound out of ScreenFlow for your podcast and your vlog. So it really speeds up things. So that's my hack. You can use ScreenFlow to produce your podcast. And in the Basecamp course, we're going to be talking a lot about ScreenFlow and teaching you how to use the tool. Well, Ron, I'm looking forward to you getting healthy, but we talked today a little bit and he's much, much better. Well, if I haven't confused you enough, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Ron and Bill Show. Monetize anything, something. And did we talk about monetizing? Oh my gosh. We didn't talk about monetizing. Oh, so what can you monetize? We talked more about the tools you need to do to monetize. Oh my, Ron, I didn't talk about monetizing. We have to make sure we have a hack each episode. It could be 2 or 3 minutes about monetizing. So I'm going to stop and think of something you can monetize right now. Okay, I've got the monetize idea. If you have kids or you don't have kids, people in neighborhoods need dog walkers. I kid you not. Everyone needs a dog walker. You can't get rich. It's not really stressful work, but you can get $20 to $30 a day from walking your neighbor's dog, feeding it while they're gone or overnight or wherever it might be. And you can walk around your neighborhood and just drop off a little flyer saying I'm a dog walker. Now, you can limit how much you work in that business by figuring out how many houses you can sort of take care of. But I guarantee you there's a lot of people who need dog walkers. My daughters are doing that right now, and there's an unlimited amount of work that they can get, and they can make about $30, maybe $40 an hour. They probably need to charge about $15 to $20 per night and then spend 30 minutes, around 20 to 30 minutes a day with each family's dog, either in the morning or the afternoon as a minimum. But actually, if you like the dog and you sort of want to play with them and you don't have too many accounts, you might spend a little bit more time with that. And it can be like stress reduction. You don't even have to have a dog. So that's the monetization hack, is start a dog business. We'll probably talk about that more in the future because that's really a good base business, especially for kids to learn responsibility. Problem is, it is a very responsible situation. When you're working with someone's dog or animal or pet, that's their life. So you've got to make sure that you really take good care of that pet. Well, I think that's good. I think that was a good hack to finish up with today. So if you could go on over to iTunes, just search Ron and Bill Show and give us a rating and review. And make sure you go over to ronandbillshow.com and check out the YouTube if you're listening on iTunes. Hey, here's my little commercial. Go over to Podcasters Home, podcastershome.com. I'm rebuilding that page. And it better be tweaked out by today, Thursday, 12 April 2017. So if it's not up, it will be up in a day or two. And you will get a nice freebie. That's the free podcasting course. And I think you'll enjoy it. I thank you for listening to this episode of The Ron and Bill Show. Please go right here to subscribe, right here where I'm pointing, right here. And that will help a lot on the YouTube because the more subscriptions, the merrier, and the better traction we get. And also on iTunes, remember to go on over to iTunes and look for the ronandbillshow.com. Subscribe there, and you can listen to it on your iPhone or your smart device, whatever you want to do. You can listen there. And also while you're there, go ahead and give us a rating and review. Until next time, take care, and we'll see you next week.